As we found out yesterday, 49ers Deebo Samuel was hospitalized with pneumonia and getting fluid in his lungs, which is a very serious thing and nothing to scoff at. But thankfully, according to Matt Mayoko and a team source, Deebo Samuel has been released from the hospital. So obviously, we don't have any more details than that as it stands, but that's a good sign. Let's just say that. The fact that he's able to go home and probably gets antibiotics and is on the mend is good. Now we have no idea what that means for his availability against the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, today is a day off for the team. They will return to practice on Wednesday. We will hear Kyle Shanahan speak and provide more updates on Wednesday about the availability of Deebo Samuel. We don't know if he will be ruled out right away or if he will just be maybe held out towards the end of the week. Again, because it is an illness, I do think that you could potentially go without Deebo practicing all week. So if he wasn't in the building or didn't partake in practice, if you were concerned about him maybe spreading pneumonia, you could always keep him out of meetings. He could join via Zoom. I don't know how they would go about managing that, but theoretically, because it isn't injury related, you could just keep him out of practice for the week and get him up going on game day. So I don't know what the 49ers are going to do in this regard. I don't know how they're going to manage this, but it would be great to get Deebo Samuel against the Dallas Cowboys in what I believe is a must-win game. We're back into that territory where every game from this point out is a must-win. You can't fall further behind. You can't go into the bye 3-5. You have to beat the Dallas Cowboys, who are having very similar struggles like the San Francisco 49ers. You can't do it. You just can't. Um, and I think I could speak for the fan base. If the 49ers lost to the Dallas Cowboys, a lot of people are going to have a very, very difficult time sleeping for the rest of the year, maybe. Big one coming up, but back to Deebo Samuel. Very, very happy to hear that he's good and that no, it doesn't appear any serious ramifications are going to come away from this injury. So thankfully, Deebo Samuel's all good. Again, we'll just have to monitor the practice reports to see if he will be able to go, if he will go, and all those different types of things. But what a wild ride. Obviously, a ton of injuries this year, especially at the wide receiver position. So we'll see, but hopefully Debo's good to go and he can get after it and hey, maybe show some of those Twitter finger people how to what it's about. You know, we saw that he made a post last night, I guess from the hospital. Actually, let me just pull it up. Let's see what Deebo said. I didn't post about this on the channel, but he did say these media folks and Twitter finger MFers and MF fantasy owners, all that. I don't care about your fantasy teams. Your parlays, nothing. Have a great night. Let me read that again. These media folks and Twitter finger MF fantasy owners, all of that. So basically saying all of you guys who essentially comment on this game and talk about this sport and these players and all of those things, whether it's media, fantasy people, or content creators, I'm assuming, and everything in between, anyone who bets on games, all of that. He says, I don't care about your fantasy teams or your parlays, nothing. Have a great night. Uno good. So kind of let us know that he's good, but um, yeah, I get it. I get it. He got a lot of backlash for having to miss that game with pneumonia. A lot of people took a lot of personal shots. It was kind of crazy. I actually posted a video, um, that was I was chronicling, what was happening with Debo before the game because I could see that, I watch Debo every game as he comes out of the tunnel, and I'm always paying attention to his body language and how his energy, and you could see right away that like something wasn't right about Debo, and then he goes straight into the locker room, and then he never comes back out for the pregame warm up. And to me, that is like I've never seen that before. I've been watching pregame Debo go through pregame for years now. Never seen that. So obviously, is my job. And one of the things that I do is kind of reporting on the 49ers is like Deebo Samuel comes out, of pregame warmups in pads, but goes into the locker room. Well, for whatever reason, I did not anticipate this at all. And I didn't even see this coming, but people took that video and screenshots of it. They said he looked overweight or whatever, and Twitter just went crazy, just memeing him to death, just straight up bullying Debo, especially after the fact that he didn't play after I think what 4 snaps. So just put yourself in Debo's shoes, doing everything you can to be out here on the field with your team and not let them down and continue to fight and not let your fans down and keep going. And you just can't because you're too sick. And you actually have to go to the hospital. And then as you're laid up in the hospital with fluid in your lungs, you have your whole fan base, not only the 49ers fan base, but anyone involved in the NFL world seemingly was taking shot after shot after shot at Deebo Samuel. And it was like, wow. I personally didn't expect that. It didn't even register to me when I was like taking the video. I was just taking the video and was just talking about his availability, and then you just start seeing the quote tweets, and it went crazy, and then people talking down on Debo, injury prone, this, that, the other thing. I was like, oh my gosh. And then we find out Debo's hospitalized with pneumonia. It's just like, man, we live in a crazy time of sports coverage, because obviously everyone has a platform with social media. Anyone can say anything to directly to these players. There's no barrier anymore, and people can say whatever they want. And so that's what happened. People assumed it, whatever they assumed, and they took shots. And just an unfortunate situation. But regardless, at the end of the day, I'm glad that he's good, and uh, I halfway believe he's got a little extra motivation heading into this week, especially with the way everyone talked to him. So, um, again, these guys are humans, just like you and I. They bleed just like you and I. They might get paid a little bit different than you and I do, but that doesn't change the fact that they're humans. So, just something to keep in mind. I get it. We get very passionate. We get very frustrated, but at the end of the day, it's more than a game. So anyways, good news, but let's try to be better. All right. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more